refit. As you see, I have all 10 fingers left. But yeah, these Husqvarnas are, sometimes you hate those, sometimes you love those. Oh, and I have a question for you. It says FU, man. 12.6 volts on the bike's battery. What's up? Like, big explosion happened here. You see this? It's quite cold in my workshop at the moment, but I started fire in this contraption. Soon it will be warm in here. Next step to put this thing together is to tackle this. First I have to take those old gaskets off, clean it up and put it all back together with new gaskets, jets. Check this guy out. He has every part, almost every part for Keihin carburetors, and also, what was it? Keihin and Mikuni parts. This is meat body gasket kit for this one. Yeah. So let's get on with it. It has been sitting here over a month, and things are going to be interesting to put this back together, because I have to remember everything. I guess this is clean enough to meet new gaskets. Why it took so long? Because if you take this rubbery thing off, then here it is. Feels like a glue or something. But I guess this is just time and gasoline eating up those gaskets. The carb cleaner dissolves it. Carb cleaner makes it spongy or rubbery again. You need to remove old thread locker from threads. This meat body and this round thingy, these don't come apart usually. It was quite hard to find this meat body gasket kit, because usually in regular motorbike parts store they sell only this float bowl gasket. Meat body gasket kit comes with all the rubber parts and new screws. New screws also. I'm going to grease these new gaskets with just a tiny bit of silicone grease. Yeah, too much, because rubber needs moisture to be rubbery. Just making my finger tips greasy and touch every part of this gasket. Also the grease helps to keep it in place. Now you just have to guide it in. easier said than done. You have to make sure it is in its place, because otherwise it goes between the two parts, and that's not good. Blue thread locker or medium strength. I don't know exact torque specs, torque down specs for these little screws. I'm going to use this hand torque wrench. Why I don't use those fancy knit rail gloves? Because this stuff swells them up. Maybe if I had silicone gloves, but brake cleaner swells silicone gloves up. It's getting warm in here. Thread locker overflow. And now we have to put these four little O-rings here in the corners. It would be nice to have some kind of background sound or music. I could turn radio on, but then I get this copyright claim from YouTube. look what I found. Now I can use my torque wrench. Click. Click. Yes. Yes. I use these razor blades to scrape off gaskets. Works pretty well, but you have to be very careful not to cut off your fingers. Come on, go in there. No, F it. As you see, I have all 10 fingers left. Why Husqvarna? Why not KTM or some other well-known brands? Damn it. Actually, I have had Yamaha TE610E. It was my first so-called Western bikes. Western bike. Then I had KTM 620 LC4 1997 year model. Yamaha was what was it? 1999. But Husqvarnas. Why Husqvarnas? And why I say Husqvarnas? Because this is my second TE610. I had two of these. This is the one, and the other one was supermoto version, and I sold it because I had no time to ride it. I decided to sell it rather than letting it sit in the corner. There was a time when I had nothing to build. I needed project bike. It was 2011 or was it 12? But it was the time when England or Great Britain was in the EU, and buying from eBay was easier. And eBay was my main source of parts for Husqvarnas and bikes themselves. Both Husqvarnas I bought as non-runners. I repaired them and made them street legal in Estonia. I think they are pretty good bikes. As an Italian, these 2000 era Husqvarnas are built under Cagiva, which is Italian bike brand. And as they are Italian, they are a bit, how you say it, a bit temperamental. But yeah, these Husqvarnas are, sometimes you hate those, sometimes you love those. They originally ran on Dellorto carburetors until, was it 2005? They came with this same Keihin FCR flat slide carburetors. Let's see, how is this? Let's add some firewood. So it's nice and warm in here. It's actually so warm in here that flies are starting to wake up and fly around. Let me see if I remember it correctly. This little thingy doohickey, this little doohickey went here like this. I found this kind of manual for setting up your Keihin carburetor. Float height for FCR all models 9 millimeters. It says that I have to tilt the carburetor so that the float pushes needle in place and rests on that little pin with spring, so that the float rests on that pin but doesn't push it in. Then I have to measure the distance from that gasket surface on top of the float. I just discovered that here is a little cheat code from that measuring surface. Under this white plastic doohickey, it's exactly 9 millimeters. So if you can set the float and aim like a sniper on from the top of the float or from the bottom, it sits on the bike like that. If you aim it at the top under this plastic, then you are set. Yeah, this is okay now. This is idle mixture screw, this long one. It allows me to adjust it or tune it to carb without taking it off the bike, because on the bike I can't get to this mixture screw. It has to be. And basic setting was for the mixture screw, or the former setting was 1.5 turns out for this mixture screw. Now it's in, bottomed out, and now 1.5 turns out, half, one and a half. And that knob was here. So this screw has to go in this corner. Slide thingy first. Yep. This is needle cap, vacuum blade, top. For that I have free blade removal kit. These inserts go here in this channel, and instead of those wheels here is an extra bearing, because one wheel is without bearing. That extra bearing goes here, and those bearings run inside these. And these things are quite dangerous, because if this one breaks apart, then the engine sucks those pieces in, and you can imagine what happens next. This is aluminum or aluminium. That's why I wanted new blade. But what are you gonna do? It is what it is. Doing things for yourself takes a lot more time than doing it as a job, because you don't have this time to dig into details. No one's going to pay for that. But I think that's the beauty of it. You can get to know your bike, your bike's parts a lot better. You can talk to them, discuss things with them. They listen to you very well. They don't argue with you. And if you foxtrot something up, you can go and see from the mirror. Okay, this is going to be fun. You must be kidding. How you're supposed to get that thing on here without taking this apart? Just for to compare, this is Japanese Keihin FCR MX41. Flat slide carb, and the original that was on the bike is Italian Dellorto BHM 40 MS. MS stands for accelerator bump version, round slide. This is what the came with the bike, or on the bike. A bit small difference here. But power wise, this one gives for about, I don't know the exact numbers, but by measuring with this right hand, it gives quarter more power than this one. Better throttle response, and bike is more how do I say, violent or snappier. But yeah, next step to put this on the bike. I'll give you a better view of those two Keihin FCR, Dellorto. Can't wait to put it on and hear my bike doing vroom vrooms. Why I took off radiators? Because I checked valve clearances also, and for the front or exhaust valves you have to take radiators off both sides. And for changing the brake light switch I had to take this battery box, air box off. I also did clean up inside the starter motor. It was quite stiff. Bearings or bushings were dry and it cranked over a bit slow. I hope that this helps also to start up the bike better. At the moment, what's the time? It's 10:35 p.m. Can't go to sleep at the moment. I have to wait to this burn off, just to be sure nothing catches on fire while I am sleeping. But about this little bike, that one needs also carb cleaning, because as far as I know, former owner didn't do anything. He didn't touch the carb. He only replaced engine oil, and who knows how long this carb has been not maintained, and it doesn't run quite good when it's coldish. Not outside, but when the engine is not at the operating temperature, it wants to stall. I turned up idle RPMs, but when engine gets warm it's too high. So I think that carb cleaning up the carburetor will do the trick. What do we have here? Swiss cheese. I have a spare rear shock somewhere. Oh, look. This cheese is falling apart. Maybe when I come back tomorrow. Rats and mice maybe have eaten it. Guess what time it is? It's that will it start time. I installed carburetor, IV tank or auxiliary fuel tank for testing purposes. Fully charged, freshly charged battery. I have to unhook this charger. Freshly oiled air filter. And I guess we are ready to see what will happen. Will it start? First test is to see is there any fuel leaks. No leaking yet. Fuel is in the carb. Choke on or enrich now. No luck. Spark plug is dry, so it's not flooded. Maybe there is not enough fuel. That little battery is not meant for that. I don't have any car battery lying around to jump start it. So we have to wait for the battery to charge. I managed to get the battery from tractor. It almost started, but then I noticed I had this valve closed. Let's try with open petcock. No difference. Piece of Italian crap.
Guess what, guys? Off the camera, this freaking thing works. Recharged a bit this big battery, motorbike's battery, and tried to start it, and it started. Then I tuned the carburetor. It is now in operating temperature. Of course, it's warm now. The real truth comes when I try to start it again when it's cold. As I said, this cold starting issues. Now I'm going to put these batteries to charge and I'll try again tomorrow morning. Was it worth it or not? Now the bike or the battery is charged overnight. Green light is on. Big battery is ready, also charged. I hooked up voltmeter. Now it says 14 volts. I suspect that the bike's battery is dead. Let's unhook this charger. 14 and dropping. Gas is on. Let's see if I push the start, how big is the drop of voltage, and will the bike start? It drops. Yeah, let's see. It cranks pretty slowly. 12.3. Now start. Choke on. Now start. Choke off. Now I need 2 hands to hold this jumper cable and push the start button. 12.6 volts on the bike's battery. What do you know? And it charges 14 and half, 14.5. Once the bike starts, it runs good. If it's a bit warm, then it should start right up with its own battery. I guess the old batteries is not good anymore. I have this battery tester to test it out. 13.4 volts. Let's do this battery test also. I think I need to buy new battery for the bike, and I am in between the same battery that is on or lithium iron phosphate battery, lithium battery. As you saw, it needs fast cranking to start up easily. I need one extra hand for camera. Let's see how we can do that. Crisscross and negative. It shows 13.2. Let's let's press this button. It's not completely dead, but it doesn't start the bike. I've had this battery on this bike for about 2 years or so. And this is like third battery on this bike during the time that I have this bike. Why lithium? Because higher voltage, and that means faster cranking. I think that I'm going to try this lithium battery out. It costs a bit more than this Yamaha battery, that exact. This one is around 90 euros, and lithium battery for that bike is on sale, and it is 120 euros, so 30 euros more. Maybe I can pay that 30 more and ride my bike instead of just push starting it. Also, I need to cover these holes with thin rubber. These are for if I ride it and the air comes out, rubber goes away, and if fan starts to suck air, it closes. Then the fan sucks air through the radiator, not through these holes. But yeah, I think that this bike is ready. Need to change the battery, put the gas tank on, and go ride it. And I hope next video about this bike is a riding video. Yeah, I think that's about it. Let's see what the bike has to say about it. Oppa! It says FU, man. We'll see about that in the next one. Thanks for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Oh, and I have a question for you. Do you know who wears his hat like that? I give you a few hints. He's from UK. He has also Husqvarna TE610 for project bike. He rides Husqvarna professionally. Leave the answers down in the comment. Leave the answers down in the comment section. And yeah, see you in the next one.